Welcome to the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi After the Show podcast.
We're going to talk AI today, but a different spin on this. Have you been fooled by AI yet?
I hope not. I hope not.
And the reason I bring this up, and it's a non-serious reason, is the two twins, the Australian twins that are going viral, that talk on top of each other and they repeat each other's words.
And he was coming back down towards us, and he goes, "Run, he's got a gun." And our heart started to pound, and I said, "Oh, Mum."
That story went viral this week because they mimic each other's hand gestures and cadence, and they are dressed alike in this they were interviewed for a news organization, which is what we were told.
Right, that's what we were told. When I first saw this, I was like, I watched it like 3 or 4 times because it's like, this is unbelievable. And then it's like, is this real? Because
is it real or AI?
Right. And I sent it to my oldest kids, Sammy and Will, and I was like, what do y'all think?
Sure.
And they asked me back, is this AI or is this real? And it's like, I have no clue.
So since we're having to describe it and can't see it, we mean a deep fake video is what you're talking about.
Yeah. Something created.
So AI would create. Okay, got it. Okay.
Because there is a commentator at the desk talking about the story that the girl's mother was robbed or something.
Okay.
And then they go to the girls. And the twins, they have the little interview, their sound clip, but it goes on and on. It's like, news-wise, why wouldn't you have cut this sooner? Because this is obviously...
Well, you would have let it go if it was real.
They must have, because apparently it is real. They've popped up elsewhere on different shows in Australia now that they're viral there because that's where they're from. But, yeah, I put that out. It's like, have you been fooled yet by anything AI? I don't mean just a simple text story or some crafted news story. I mean something like that.
You mean an AI-created visual, a photo, a video?
Have you seen some
like
of the videos created by AI that are just like unbelievably realistic?
I've seen them. I've seen them as, watch out, this is absolutely a deep fake. In other words, I knew I was looking at a deep fake.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that does look like Leonardo DiCaprio and Margot Robbie riding in a car together and talking and laughing and, yucking it up. And it wasn't them, but it looked like them, and all the movements and all the gestures were so human and realistic.
Yeah. AI it's certainly getting better, but there's something I think in the brain that knows something's off.
Yeah.
Sure.
I've not been fooled by any videos yet. And in fact, it's even if you strip the video part out and you just talk about text and AI generated text, it's really obvious to me when AI has generated a description or a summary or something like that. You know what I mean?
You can tell the
Better.
difference.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There was a picture that went viral late last year during hurricane season and hurricane recovery time, of a little girl in a boat crying, holding a puppy, as if she was holding her puppy and evacuating. And apparently it was not only used to fool you visually, but it was like, donate now. And that was absolutely a scam. But I remember seeing it, and my first thought was, she's too perfect to be real.
I think
it was beautiful.
Yeah.
The puppy and the little girl, and it was sad. It struck all the chords.
I think the photos and the videos, if it's too perfect or too polished, that's where it sticks out. Now, these ladies, it's not polished, this video.
Right.
It's just the fact
twins.
that it's like, whoa, my goodness, everything. They're repeating everything on top of each other.
Right.
Is this a joke?
What I'm seeing now about those ladies, and we put it in 3 Things to Know today in the show, is that it's not AI, they're real. And but that could, in 24 hours from now, that could be a different thing.
Yeah.
It could have been such a deep fake that they thought about all of this. They tried to make it go viral. I just don't know yet. But it was weird because they mimicked each other's hand gestures. They were wearing the same colors and they're adults.
Yeah.
I mean, they were wearing the same tops and they were adults. How many twins in adulthood do that? That was odd to me. Maybe it's a fashion thing.
The follow-up story I saw where it's another commentator interviewed them. They had different scrubs on, but they were both matching. I think it's because they both work. Well, this is the story.
I know. The pelican
for a pelican rescue in Australia. I think they run the pelican rescue.
Yeah.
So they're probably wearing scrubs because they're dealing with animals all day long.
Yeah.
But as far as us, the 3 of us, we kind of look at it with a questioning eye.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
How is that going to affect younger generations that jump right into this and they don't know?
Well, I mean, I know, our Gen Zs are very in tune with what's
they
fake and not. Absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, they don't really like AI for that reason.
They're looking for everything
honestly,
authentic.
Sam, I think that they're the most tuned in because they are the ones who've experienced it their entire lives. So they've
never seen it any other way.
Right, exactly. They're going to know when something, is fake. Now, if it becomes more sophisticated, that's a game changer. But it doesn't even have to be just AI, Jody. When you were talking about the puppy and the being sometimes it's just a picture that's out of context, a photo that was taken 5 years before that's not related to the event that somebody's representing it for. That's even more tricky because that's not AI generated. That's somebody blatantly taking a real photo and associating it with a current event and trying to make that go viral. I mean, I guess it's all dangerous, right? But something like that is...
Anywhere there's technology and advances in technology, there are the ones who use it for evil.
If you and
bad.
you can Google around, and I need to find a site that was talking about that because there are different universities that actually will study that and put it through 100 different tests or angles. Maybe they use AI to actually check the AI. Whatever it is that they're doing, they're able to actually zero down into pixels and tell when something has been faked and put together. The human eye can't really pick all that up, but they're they're hip to it. But if you look at the way that AI generates some things, depending on what's being generated, take a look at the background and see if anything looks odd. If something's being represented from a certain time and place, and you see a cell phone or smartphone in the background, or even something that's not that. So, I saw one the other day that was supposed to be the oldest house in America or something like that or whatever. But it had a style of shutters on it that didn't exist at that time period.
Oh, how investigative
And that's
of
what
you.
somebody was calling. They were calling that out. It was just been put together by AI. Same thing.
Instead of being scared of all this or letting it bother you or make you feel uneasy, the beauty here is this. If it teaches us anything as a human race, it should teach us to slow down with our reactions to things. Read it. Don't have an emotional reaction. Just take it in. And if you're questioning it, so be it. Question it. If it ends up being true, great. Go forward with it however you would, which is just swipe away, scroll away, or to dig into it. Or if it turns out to not be true, I would say also look out going forward because there's already legislation about this, about using this. And if you use it with the intention to fool someone, I mean, look out because you can't do it.
Yeah, if you look at like a Chat GPT or whatever, it will tell you as you're generating photos, making sure that you've got the rights to or understand, what the limitations are and disclaimers. And any website that's using AI right now, for anything, whether it's summaries or other, they're disclosing that. So the legit places are going to. Of course, the problem is it's the not legit stuff that's going to be the thing you were deceiving things.
You mentioned earlier about a picture misrepresenting an era. I've seen a lot of that on X, on Twitter, but I think Grok, that's the one he uses on X.
Yeah,
it usually picks those out. It's really weird because you'll see one of those things like, oh my God, look at this catastrophe here, blah, 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 that happened just now in New York City. And then the first thing under the picture will be a Grok thing that says, this is misrepresented, this is not this is actually from 1989 and da-da-da-da-da-da.
Wow.
So even, it's like they've even got that looking at a lot of their posts to tell you whether or not it's real or not.
And are they using AI to detect AI is my question.
Yeah, and when is AI going to fool AI?
Yeah. Well, the thing is the social sites, they definitely want you to continue to scroll, but I don't think that any of them want to be accused of putting false things out there. And so they're going to continue to work. And it's going to be the eternal race for security. It's been that way since the dawn of it, since the time somebody put in their first password to the sophisticated, nature of AI and visuals and the fact that it can create machine learning, all of that. But yeah, I mean, I hope I'm skeptical enough that I'm not fooled by something like that. And maybe what you're talking about there, Sam, where Grok, to X, if Facebook will do the same thing and others to say, warning, this photo's not, or the photo's been removed because it was AI generated or fake or whatever it is, hopefully everybody will adopt and use that technology.
Hopefully. It's your eye, though. If it fools your eye, to me, the AI, as far as pictures go and images and video even, it needs to be a little less imperfect. The most perfect facial features that are the most appealing are symmetrical, they say. Symmetrical. And so when it's perfectly symmetrical, most people are not perfectly symmetrical.
I'm sure there's somebody somewhere working on imperfecting
adjusting it a bit.
Yeah. So do you think the twins are real?
I hope they are. I hope.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.